Okay. Alright. Where do I start? Okay. Silent Hill 2 was widely considered a landmark game in the world of gaming. It arguably made the Silent Hill franchise, but it was also one of those anchor games for the PlayStation 2 that everyone had and everyone played. It was a game that helped launch the horror genre in the new generation of video games. It helped to make them popular and layered with storytelling rather than just being bland jump scares and scary images. What I'm trying to say is that it's an all-time game with a remake to match, but this is bad, you guys. When going from a game to a movie, certain liberties need to be taken because you can't necessarily plug in one form of entertainment into another, not their methods or the way they do their storytelling. I'm not mad. This is not a direct adaptation of the game. That's not what bugs me. I'm frustrated with so many of the things that they did poorly. In the game, the central message is the truth and how devastating it can be when we realize and we learn that each monster that James, Eddie, Angela, Maria are all on some level manifestations of their deep-seated fears and the truths that they run from. To start, the story isn't good, which makes the bad even worse. It seems like James is flip-flopping around with Jeremy Irvin being a miscast in the role. No offense to the guy, but he seems way out of his element on this. Now, a video game movie does not need an Oscar winner at the helm, but this feels almost maybe below the levels of Madam Web as far as being bad acting. All the camera angles are trying to be disorientating but come off as amateur hour, while the CGI is mostly bad. If there was a vision, whoever was driving had double-sided vision with drunk goggles on. Constant flashbacks take you out, filmed too conventionally. This might have worked in the 2000s era of like horror films akin to like something like Stay Alive, but there's too much video game mechanics maybe going on in this. Also, running from monsters is scary. This wasn't. There's a scene where James is fighting a group of nuns and just swinging at them wildly, which I get it, right? Like terrifying sequence. But someone needs to tell this director that sometimes less is more. There's a reason why we get frustrated when people run, but also maybe you can understand when they're running away from something that's holding a knife that's really quick. Also, the whole part where he's looking for his wife and finds someone that looks exactly like her and he doesn't go, "Who the fuck are you?" The foreign monster wasn't scary. Sometimes it's not what you see. It's what you don't see that matters. That's what scares you further, restraint. Also, seeing Maria and Angela and Eddie die in such a lazy way instead of outwardly saying what's happening to them, along with the mess of Laura and her relationship to Mary, this is a mess of a movie. With so much missing of what made the original film, the original game, great. The adding of this cult, it just feels like lazy because they didn't trust that they could dig more into James's world and make him the protagonist but also the villain at the same time. In the game, spoilers alert for a game that's I think more than 20 years old, in the game James kills Mary almost like he's doing her a favor when in reality he's also doing it to placiate his suffering because of what a nuisance she's become to him. I'm not saying that's right. I'm saying that's the guilt that he's dealing with. In the game, James is a bad guy. And there is no happy ending. Arguably, the good ending in the game is the one where he drives off a cliff, seemingly holding onto Maria's hand as she's also dead in the car. Meaning that this entire episode, this entire film took place in the span of a few hours, maybe mentally in his head as he's trying to work through what he just did or what's going on. Maybe that would have been the happiest ending, but to be honest, fuck you for this ending that the film gave us. It just feels cheap and lazy. Now, the only positives I can say are that there is some creepy imagery at work here, and I feel like it's easier to see those scary images that you craft into the story rather than writing the story around the images or the scares. Some of the images do the game justice, but what I hate the most is the whole you're in a mental hospital thing, which just feels, again, lazy. This movie reminds me of paint drying, man. This movie is disappointing. 2 out of 10. Offensively bad and boring with sky-high potential that makes it that much worse. What did you think? Also, if you haven't seen it yet, don't watch it. Patrick, what do you have to say?
Boo!